What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the You Get Love podcast. I'm your host, James, and this is my co-host.
Right.
And we got a good video today. We got a special guest, Joel. He's gonna be speaking to us, and it's gonna be a great time. So sit back, get some popcorn, enjoy the video, and we'll be back after this break.
I always been that type of kid to find somebody better than leave her cause of all the pressure. Niggas think it's really funny when they play around. See a chick cause she thick, tell her slow it
Come on.
down. In reality, you
Let's
can
give a
get that
special
too.
sponsor,
Don't care about her,
Springfield
you just care about you.
Best One, Springfield Beach Stone. Check her out. Check out her Instagram. Springfield, that's Springfield Best One. She also got a YouTube channel, Bonnie Stone. Check out her music. It's mad good. And I'm actually in this music video, so go check it out. I'm right there. And make sure you go watch their podcast too. Bonnie Stone and Miss Phenom, Crushing the Culture. And make sure y'all go watch their videos. Watch, and follow her on Instagram. So we're back here with the man, the myth, the legend, Joel. And how you doing, Joel?
Doing good, my guy. How are you?
I'm good. I'm hanging in there. I'm chilling. So,
That's the same.
yeah. So basically, me and Brian are gonna tell you how we met this kid, how we know him, and I guess I'll just let Brian take it away first.
Yeah, just like the basics. Well, you always, Joel, I know went to St. Mike's, like me and James, and I guess I'd say I've known him for the past 7 years because we ended up going to the same high school, and through that, we didn't exactly talk that much when I was in middle school, but I say we became a lot closer in high school.
Yeah,
Yeah, basically almost the same thing. I knew him back in I was in six. I was in my first year of middle school. He was in the second, I believe, right? Seventh grade.
yeah,
So I knew him. I was honestly petrified of the older grades, so I never really talked to them. So I knew him, and then we lost touch, unfortunately, uh, as he graduated from my school and went on to Pope. But we recently just got back in touch, so that's always great when you talk to people from your past, see how they're doing and everything. So it's definitely great. So Joel, I'm gonna start off with the first question. What was growing up for you like? Before I guess before the days we met, up until the days we met. You can start there. It doesn't matter.
yeah. So I was born in Queens, Queens, New York. Um, yeah, it was pretty difficult. Being being in this, I guess, area that we were in. We're not insanely, like impoverished, but like we were struggling financially. Um, I had like let me see. I had three other siblings. Um, my mom, my dad, myself, all cramped in an apartment. Um, yeah, so it's kind of tough. But my dad, he stuck to his grind and worked hard for us. So he decided to come to Massachusetts and work. That's when we were able to afford living in Massachusetts. So then we moved. Um, I ended up coming to Holyoke for a good amount of the time. Um, it was all right. The um, my elementary school days were sort of, it was okay. It was you know elementary. People just going on with their own stuff and like yeah, like all their childish stuff. Yeah. So then after that, I went to St. Mike's. Seventh grade was pretty cool. Eighth grade was awesome. Um, yeah, but there's a lot of new things, shockingly, that open up. Um, how can I say it? Like open up like the minds of middle school kids. Like I was like what, like 11, 12, and I'm like already learning like about a whole bunch of crazy stuff, and like yeah, it's crazy how little kids learn about a lot of different things. But um yeah, and then high school, I actually went to Florida my freshman year, and yeah, it was pretty fun. It was like 2,000 people going to that school. The campus was huge. Yeah, it was pretty good. Um, yeah, I didn't really talk, or at least stay connected with my past SMA friends when I was in Florida. But then we decided to come back to Massachusetts, and that's when I went to Pope.
Yes, that's where you continued your or started your friendship with Brian.
That's
Um, yeah, I definitely can relate with you, Joel, in terms of when before I went to St. Mike's in third grade, I went to public school, and I was like a bad kid, so I was really bad. So you know, struggling with like preschool, kindergarten, I finally found a home in Springfield for elementary school that I just went to, and then second grade. After second, my parents, I had like horrible grades, and I remember just crying, and my my dad was like, "Don't worry about it," because he's always on top of me for my grades. That's why I was upset, and he's like, "Don't worry about it. You're going to a better school and everything." But yeah, it was definitely a struggle. My parents telling me like it definitely was, growing up, it wasn't the easiest, and then somehow like you somehow I always say by the grace of God, like I was, blessed to be in a situation where my parents got out of it, and they felt like I would say now, and to take like today's phrasing, like down bad. So
Nice.
we especially like me and my sister, we were able to go to a great school at St. Mike. So definitely it was a struggle, and I feel like some people I connect with, like they had the same thing. Like our parents were like struggling, and so it is definitely like a big thing to connect with, and then eventually being able to go to a Catholic school. You're blessed to go from 7th to 12th, and even into another college that's faith oriented. I'm not sure if it is or not.
it. And
Yeah,
even with the, for me, well, I live in my grandparents' house now. Or technically, yeah, my grandparents' house. And for elementary school, I went to the school down my street. And then for my middle school, I was on the St. Mike's, which is not that far from me either. Same for you, James. St. Mike ain't that far for you. And then for Pope Francis, that's right on the same street as my elementary school. So all the schools I've ever went to are all in the same area.
yeah, it's
Uh,
definitely.
Obviously one thing is that, obviously I have privileged to go to such a school, and even with Joel, and even with his story, he is privileged to have parents that care enough
Yeah,
about him to where they send him to like a great school like Pope.
yeah, it's definitely great because you were there for a long time. Unfortunately, I couldn't go to Pope, but still going to a school that was just great with the education. So I was so blessed in that aspect. I just lost that that faith part where you have that religion class, but I really think wherever you go, like your faith doesn't leave you. It's always there. So it's definitely a great journey because it's two separate stories. Brian going his way and I'm going my way. So it's definitely great to see. Um, so Joel, so in terms of let's get back, trying to get into the topic of the podcast. Uh, how is like relationships and stuff with you growing up?
Yeah, growing up, like it's definitely like it's kind of hard. Only because like um, so like let's say beginning to elementary school, right? Everyone's like, oh yeah, we got this going on, and like oh yeah, let's, go on these like silly little dates and stuff like that, right? Like make believe. Um, yeah, like all that, like, you know, as little kids, right? Like that doesn't mean nothing. Like we all know that. Like that don't, mm, just trying to shoot my shot around, definitely not like I definitely got turned down a lot. Um, and I don't know, being a middle schooler, being like super hyperactive and like just being a ball of energy, like a lot of people didn't like that. So, and I didn't even like that. So yeah, I definitely got turned down a lot. Um, High school, um, I only got into one, um, but I did shoot my shot around. I did shoot my shot around a lot, um, and not that much success and stuff like that. Um, but the thing is that like just me thinking like now that I'm in college and stuff like that, um, like I've realized that there's a lot of factors that like prevented me from maybe actually scoring a bucket or like maybe maybe like just focusing on myself, right? Like because now like I'm learning now, like bro, if you don't have no confidence, right? Which I didn't have, like middle school, high school, like to me, I don't think I had that much confidence. Um, like having confidence, having this like masculine frame. Um, what else? And just like being on your grind, like without those things, right? Like you're not gonna get looked at as much. Like I'm not saying that like you're gonna score buckets like Stephen Curry. Like I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that like yeah, you're gonna miss a lot, but with those like three things, like you're gonna make it. You're gonna make at least some. Um, and yeah, so like now like I'm at this point where I am just like looking at I'm looking at how I can better myself. Um, and in order to gain confidence, right, you have to be doing something that you're proud of. I mean, a lot of people get confidence like just off the rip, like they don't have nothing going on for them, but they still have confidence. And
Now,
that's, I think, that's a blessing,
now, kind of following up with that, Joel. There's one quote that I kind of just saw recently that I kind of live by now, and that is, if you don't love yourself enough as a person, then you can't be expected to be loved by others in the same way and have them show you that love, that unconditional love that someone might give to you.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and that's facts. Like you have to learn how to love yourself and love what you do, so that you can like, be on your alpha male vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like I heard this like video and it was just comparing about like what alpha males do and like what beta males do. Like an alpha male will like stick to their stuff, right? They'll be like, oh, like what movie do you like, right? Bro, I mess with anime. I ain't gonna cap. I mess with anime, bro.
Oh,
Naruto, Attack on
oh,
Titan.
God. Oh, God. Same
That's
with me.
lit.
Oh, man.
I'm telling you, like that's lit. So
And the thing is, too, like anime obviously teaches you certain things that many people don't see.
dude, no cap. But yeah, so like believe me, like even me saying this like right now, like you guys might be watching this be like, that's kind of weird. But like, hey, like I'm on, like I said, I'm on my alpha vibes. I don't care. I don't care. That's what I like. An alpha male will say that and stick to that. But what a beta male does, he's like, oh yeah, I like anime. I watch Naruto, and you know the other person's like, oh well, I mean anime's weird, you know, I like romantic stuff, you know, anime's not even real. And then they'll be like, yeah, you know, anime's not all that, you know. I only like it a little bit. Like, bro, like what are you doing, bro? Like,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. No, basically, and it's basically like with that, you know, yeah, being a beta male, you're pretty much just trying to synchronize with the crowd. You, you have that weak mentality because someone says something and you just instantly agree with them. That doesn't show that you have your own, um, what's the word? You don't have your own drive, maybe.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's basically like this. So if I'm getting this analogy right, say if oh you really like this girl, right? And the cool group of guys are like, dude, what are you doing? She's not even that cute. Don't date her. And you have those like influencers around yourself, and like, you know what? Nah, I'm not even gonna talk to her no more because they're right. And never let like that affect, oh, she's not that good looking or she's not that cute. But if you think she's cute, like shoot your shot. Don't just stop yourself from because this dude said not to do it because she's not attractive or cool enough. Like if I'm getting your point, if that's like a correct analogy of what you said between alpha and beta, but you know,
Yeah, it's like the the same like the same principles apply. Like that's just in a different situation. Um, but you know, this like I said, the same principles apply.
But not, you know, even for me, like the terms alpha and beta come to me. Those I see as gym terms. Those are seen to me as gym terms, and that's I kind of live by that. If you were to say so.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to like stray away from the topic, but like um so yeah, like another thing, so like jumping back to like where I was talking about like middle school and stuff, like I can cap like middle schoolers, you know, they get revealed a lot within like dating and like you know like dating and like just a whole bunch of explicit stuff, right?
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
um and like one thing I'd say, um like so like a lot of people, right, grow up on that, right? Or a lot of people just engage in that behavior. Um, but like these people, right, most of the time, I'd say like a high percentage view women, right, or humans in general, as objects, right? Like it's pretty common, like,
Yeah.
um, and like that just gives like this false like reality. Um, and as guys, right? For example, guys who engage in that certain behavior, they're going to act in a certain way when they're trying to get girls, and it's definitely creepy. Like, no doubt about it. Like the way that comparing the way that a person who views another human being as a human being, comparing that to a person who only views them as an object, you're gonna get two different responses. Um, and even if it like, for example, even if it were to be the same response, there's just a different inward response, like a different inward reaction. Um, and I'd say that like that's a thing that's like pushing other people away. Um, for real, for real. For real. Like, yeah, so I'd say like, you know, just straying away from that. Like like what what are the things that you have to get on in your life so that you can become a better person? Um, for me, right? Like I can be open about this. Like for me, it was that, like, you know, staying away from that stuff. Um, actually trying to, um, look at someone as a human being rather than an object. Right now, I am working on my confidence. Like, I could tell, like, I started working on my confidence in like October, like late October. I can tell that like there has been a lot of changes, that I'm glad about. My grind, my work, that stuff that's skyrocketing. Um, hitting the gym, literally for guys, that's like I'd say that's the number one. Like for a lot of like middle schoolers and high schoolers, you know, we I'm saying we as in like my past tense of being in middle school and high school, but like we had like a lot of time. Like we had a lot of time on our hands. Like hit the gym, you know what I'm saying? Get
bro.
your confidence up.
That's
Game.
that's
All
saying,
games.
bro. That's saying the same for me, because I've been going to the gym since I was a freshman. So obviously, I would know that.
Yeah, he definitely. I do know about Brian is after I think eighth grade was it? I think it was eighth grade year. Beginning of that, he started on his soccer, and he never really like was the guy who kind of put he like forget relationships with him. I just remember straight from like beginning of eighth grade, like grind, grind, grind. He started going to the gym, and I see differences, and he's like a different person. And with the gym, it's just like that. It really is. It benefits you physically, emotionally, and mentally. And so it's a great thing. I do agree with you on that. Like the gym is number one, especially middle school. Even if like you can't hit the gym, like play sports. I don't know, play
Yeah.
basketball, football, or like whatever sport you can play, or even with not that, and in a like a social thing. It's like do a club. I started doing clubs in high school, just to kind of improve my social skills. And it wasn't always bad, but you meet new people in clubs, you talk to people. And part of the thing that I love about clubs is I love to hear what people have to say. I love the ideas. I love all that. And it helps you understand not from only your perspective, but somebody else's perspective and how people look at the world maybe in a different way. And so I think it's definitely, I definitely agree with the gym, but continue what you were saying, Joel.
Yeah, bro, like the gym, bro, like, dude, there's just like a lot of times, like, you, like, at first, right? For example, you get your heart broken. Like, I'd say that's probably one of the most driving forces of a person going to the gym. Or like just anything. Like, I'm not saying like that's the number one, but I'm saying
Yeah,
like, that's a, good enough reason why a man goes to the gym, right? Um, like a lot of times though, that motivation like dies out, you know, um, and working on yourself, um, you have to self discipline yourself as well. And I'd say that that is very important. I'd say that's even more important than motivation, um, because with motivation, um, you know, you can still slack off.
yeah,
You can be motivated and slack off. Um, but if you're self-disciplined and motivated, then you're on your grind. You can be proud of what you're doing. That's basically the point that we're trying to get to.
yeah,
Um, be proud in what you're doing, and that proudness, that confidence, um, people see that. Um, yeah, people see that. Like, be on your alpha stuff, bro. Like, like I said, just grind. Um, yeah, I'd say that's very important.
Some people will hate you for it.
yeah.
Others will like you.
You
Oh,
gain a lot of. I think you definitely gain a lot of respect when you go out and you play sports. Um, when you go to the gym, it's definitely on a level of that, it's respect.
People love to see skill,
Yeah,
and if you can't immerse yourself through your skill, then honestly, why even bother?
yeah, definitely.
Dude, that's insane though. Like I've been like looking at like, bro, just people's reactions, bro, to like other people's improvement.
Yeah,
Like you can just be starting off, right? Bro, people will be giving you the craziest shade, bro. And it's like, and it could be indirect. Like I'm not saying it's like direct shade, but it could be indirect. But you see that, and I'm like, damn, like that's crazy. But at the same time, you can use that. You can use that for fuel.
yeah, definitely. But I kind of want to get in the next question. Um,
Yeah.
so how's college been for you so far? I know, like, with the whole Corona-19, it's definitely been different. But how would you describe that, like, transition into college and everything? How you got to settle in?
Yeah. I'm going to, or at least I am in Assumption University. Um, it's a pretty dope college. It's it was definitely hard in the beginning, to like try and settle in. Um, with especially like with COVID and stuff like that. I like with quarantine, bro. Like you don't really meet as much people in the beginning, at least. Um, you're in your room for like a week. My roommate, fun fact, he's from Germany. So he's a very cool dude. Very active and stuff. So, me and him, we just strolling around campus, doing our stuff. But we try to meet new people. It's I don't know. I don't know. I'd say meeting new people is, at least in the beginning, was a bit hard for me. Only because it's a whole different environment and stuff. Um, but very quickly I started to like make new friends and stuff like that. Um, we have this thing called a compass linkage, where it's I take like two classes or three classes, that like everyone is in. Like the people who are in those three, like in one class, stick with me in my other two classes. But in total, I have like five classes, so I'm not like completely stuck with them. Um, but yeah, we ended up, like, as our entire class, we ended up bonding a lot. So I definitely made a lot of friends. Um, there's a lot of there was a couple cases in on campus.
Oh, okay.
The girls that were living below me had to quarantine. It's crazy.
Oh, that's definitely crazy. But I'm glad that, like, everything's hopefully he's getting, you're definitely acquainted into the school. I hope that process is getting a little bit easier. Um, but definitely, unfortunately, it's all the time we have today. Um, it just seems like these interviews just are not interviews. These podcasts just go by so fast, and it's definitely unfortunate. But it was good to hear from you. Good to have a good conversation with you. We definitely got to uh, do this again. Definitely on a podcast. Part two, maybe work something out. But it was great. So
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, we
I'm
always
committed.
love to have you.
yeah.
Always.
So any last words to the people?
Keep your head up. Get on your grind. You know what I'm saying? Full steam ahead. Don't worry about other people. Just do you.
That's definitely all right. So that was good. So thank you, Joel, for being here. It was good to see you, bro.
Nice to see you too, bro.
Well, that was definitely a great episode with Joel. Definitely um, intellectual mind, and what he was saying is all facts. Kind of educated me as well, but it was definitely great to have him on the show. Any any last words, Ryan, before we head out?
Honestly, no.
All right, well, no, it was great. Thank you, obviously for watching the show. It's greatly appreciated. Like I said, we do this for you guys, and I just want to, help teenagers, especially with love, because it's a big subject.
Like I said, if you want to feature, text me at Brian Allen __ on Instagram, DM me, or text me on Snapchat, Brian Allen 0.
Yeah, that man is in charge of the feature, so definitely hit him up for that. And you could just very well be on the next episode of Eager to Love. Thank you, and we're out of here.